We should be live now. There we go. Now we are live for a brand new episode of what I would used to call this Daily Dingus, but we're live to just talk about some San Diego Comic-Con news. There's some stuff that came out, and you know what I always find annoying when trying to find stuff about this is there's never I feel like a great place to find all of this stuff. I always have to go look around different places, and so I've gone through and I've looked in the usual spots I've gotten the news in the past and found a good bit of Marvel, DC, and I struggled to find some of the stuff that wasn't Marvel and DC. But you know what? Let's just dive all into what there is. Yeah, let's get on into it.
Welcome to the Dingus Den.
I think Screen Rant
is great.
CBR does a good job. I think the other one that's not CBR, it's the other one. It's because CBR is yellow coated.
Right.
There's another one.
Yeah. Okay.
Blue coated. That one's good too. I usually use the combination of those three because I think those three are the best at just presenting the information. I'm not saying that people are not shills or anything, but you know, the other websites I go to, like Superhero Hype, I think their articles are just, in my opinion, a little short.
Yeah.
Not enough meat on the bones.
Some of them, yeah. IGN sometimes get comics news exclusives, and their site is so annoying to view comic news on.
I think it's just ugly. The reason why I like using, people always ask why do I always use like CBR and Screen Rants, because like their website is pleasant to look at. I don't like looking at the website. Just website looks like shit on it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's welcome in everybody we have so far. We have Matthew. What's up, Matthew? Always great supporter, always around. And we have Steve from Rebel Nerd Radio, co-host of the Comic Den, where we've actually figured out what our next episode is going to be. Which we're on Sunday we are going to be talking about favorite Doctor Doom stories. So just a casual discussion covering our favorite stories of Doctor Doom. So just 10 different Doctor Doom stories that we each really like. And welcome in Rolando. Great to see you here as well. And so, but yeah, and we have Taco Cat. Look at everybody coming on by. Great to see everybody here. As we delve into what's new in the world of comics. Something I've thought about doing. I used to do some comic news live streams, and then I did my Comic Den show, and where we had a new segment on that, and then cut it out a few months ago. And since then, we haven't really talked about comic news stuff much on here. I mean, we may have referenced some big news that's happened every now and then on Comic Den, but we've never really talked about it, the new stuff so much. So anyway. I might make this a more regular thing if I can find the right timing of doing comic news stuff. But for now, this is just going to be a special episode of us talking about news of what happened at San Diego Comic-Con. As you know, that's the big Comic-Con. As me and Steve talked about that, we think both we feel as if New York gives more comic-related news. But San Diego still got some big stuff that I think is important to talk about. So
biggest reveals usually happen in New York, from what I know.
Yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con is, I don't know, for many years since maybe since early mid 2010s till now has always been the Hollywood premiere show. It's crazy because the show San Diego Comic-Con literally in the name is titled Comic-Con, but most people care about the panels that the freaking Hollywood stars will go to.
Yeah,
and it's not. I don't know, the same feeling that I had watching comic, I don't know. I always tell people that's the same feeling that I had watching these panels with a bunch of movie stars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Just for me, I haven't really felt the same about it in a very long time. I think the last Comic-Con that I actually enjoyed watching all the panels was around that time period that you had Justice League coming out.
Oh,
the last time period.
Quite a different time.
Yeah, back during the 2010 to 2018 periods when thought that was usually a pretty hype thing. Yeah. Other than that, I've been I haven't usually when these actors come on these panels and everything. Given the fact that we know a lot about them now, it's I would probably not want to. There was one that I think got people's attention. It was when Black Adam was gonna come out, and then it was The Rock. He was depends on who's playing Superman, and the crowd was like, the Snyder fans were like, they were booing him. It's like nobody was booing him. If you actually listen to the actual audio, it was like The Rock was trying to put on some massive presentation. It's like,
Oh
dude,
yeah,
it was like the last one that was somewhat decently talked about. But I would rather prefer Comic Cons just like this. Honestly, it's a lot more interesting.
It's interesting because you don't have. It's not as Hollywood anymore, which is so interesting now. Because San Diego went, really big with Marvel Hall H panel. I can't say this is the first year that Marvel wasn't there, since the MCU was all big and all that. But like, there's nothing MCU this year, but that's partially just how the state of Marvel right now. But
the whole thing predicates on basically, other people will know this. So like, when they show you stuff, that means this stuff has already been announced and they're working on stuff. So if they've got nothing that they're working on or nothing to really show you, this thing was always going to be predicated on, well, if they have nothing to show you, they wouldn't go anyway, because I don't know if appearing at a Comic-Con that is baked into their contract of marketing promotion for the movie, because if it's not, then they're paying all this money for you to fly over there, to stop filming your movie, so people that are on the job to stop,
right,
in a hotel room when you're done. Then you got to fly all the way back to the set you were just previously at, and it's like, that's why back in the day people used to just like video call in, because is it really worth flying over, getting jet lagged, and then going jet lagged back, and then you're just dead inside? It's like, I don't think that's worth it.
Especially now where all Marvel has is Doomsday coming out, and they're not even knowing what to do with that. So, but yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about the movie side of stuff. We're here to talk about all the wonderful comic news that has come out. Well, some wonderful. We'll see. We'll see how we feel about all this stuff as we go forward. And so first off, speaking of Marvel, let's just begin with what Marvel stuff is coming out. There's some interesting stuff here. I'm going to share the screen for you so you can see all the stuff that I have.
I can't read. I'm black. CNN said
all this stuff. And let's delve into this. So this first one was one that Marvel actually didn't officially post anywhere that I've seen, and this is something that I actually find very interesting. And that is John Byrne's Elsewhere is getting published, where this is a 32-issue run of his fan fiction that'll be released in 3 volumes in 2026. And so if you look here, it's under the Marvel Arts thing, which is something that they just started doing more recent-ish, where I got one that came out a couple years ago that was Fantastic Four. Oh, what the hell is it called? But Alex Ross did it. He took this. He did what is it? It's some story arc with Annihilus or Into the Negative Zone. That's from like the classic Lee and Kirby era, but then he like updated the script of it, or not the script, but the writing of it into modern, like more modern lingo, and not how comics were written in the 60s. And like he completely redid all the art in it, and like it was his whole own fan project that he did on his own, and they published that, and they're doing the same thing now with John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere. So I find it very cool that they're doing this with
that does look pretty good.
Yeah.
I know that's a fan fiction thing that he's been doing for a long time. Also keep in mind, John Byrne's name on a book would sell it. Like
he's a big name.
Yeah, that's the thing that modern comic books lack, is if there's not like actual like attractive names on the books, a lot of people just don't buy them. And that makes sense, because you have to kind of prove yourself to be a household name. John Byrne, it's pretty big. Big name in comics, so
he is a big name.
Also keep in mind, from what the whole like new initiative, like from the asshole, a new butt plug, their new initiative freaking failed. Literally anything that's not that is going to be considered good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, as long as it's a good story, that's what people care about. They don't care if it's canon or not. And so this definitely has potential, and this is something I find very interesting that Marvel didn't say anything officially about. And so it's something I'm very curious to check out, and I think it's really cool that they're letting him put out something.
It's gonna be in hardcover. Marvel's always been not as big on making hardcovers like DC. When DC puts out a trade to put out a hardcover the same day, Marvel doesn't do that. Marvel very rarely these days put out hardcovers. I don't count omnibuses. That's going to be in hardcover format regardless. But if that comes out in hardcover, I'd probably buy this regardless anyway if it didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice. if my Fantastic Four trailer wasn't buried on the other side of my room, I'd show you the one I was talking about there. But it's a really nice, like, oversized hardcover of it. It's really cool. And so, why does that look different? Oh, that's why.
Who drew the cover? That looks so good. Yeah, I'm definitely getting this. I heard about this. I like, okay, I'll sign me up. I didn't know too much about the story because he did it like from the fan fiction point of view. I don't know how much Marvel's gonna pay him for that. That's the thing. Marvel probably just gave him $5 and a fucking bag of Funyuns or something.
Who knows? What's up, Castro? Welcome in. Castro from the Comic Cons podcast. And yes, we are getting to that very shortly, Steve. Planet She-Hulk. Oh, yeah. Something Hasbro did reveal was a Spider-Man mask with a remote control to control the eyes, which is really cool.
Can it make me see hot ladies?
Who knows? Well, other Marvel news, some of these we can just go by quickly. But, Marvel does their Infinity comics, and they announced that more... they're continuing on with another arc of Rivals related with the newest season of Rivals that's currently going on right now.
Yeah.
And so that's something more that they're doing. So no surprise there, but something just to mention.
They need to make this an official series because, like, I bought the Marvel Rivals Infinity comics before, but they're more like, it's hard to really call this a series. It's more like a bunch of one-shots, honestly. They need to actually have a Marvel Rivals continuity set in a comic book ongoing.
Yeah, they really need to bank on it being very big. Rivals is the new big Marvel thing. Arguably more popular than the MCU at this point in time, which is kind of crazy to say.
It's just so weird how this is not a comic book series. It's just a series of one-shots. And I know this one's going to be based off the whole King in Black, which is from Donny Cates' run.
Right.
Which had, like, Null and everything. But, I think depending on how this sells, they need to make an actual series based around it. And I think that will sell very good. You could even just do the whole, like, you could have, like, I know number ones is what Marvel only wants to do these days. You could have, like, a month of just number ones from different events. That's all you need to do. But, it's just a bunch of random books. But I think it's fine. That's fine they're doing it. But the decision need to be a little bit more honed in. Like, okay, let's actually make this worthwhile,
Sure. I'd agree. I wish I could remember the wording of this, but I remember probably a few weeks ago at this point, I was like reading somebody talking about, like, when you talk about the comics and movies, those are two different fields, so the MCU did this great job of elevating comic books, but then at the same time, not really helping comic books at the same time. And so is interesting. I wish I could remember the wording of that because that applies very much to what we're talking about.
Don't worry. They put out a Fantastic Four First Steps comic book in 2025. Don't worry.
First time they've done that in a while.
Yeah, what's crazy is that they didn't do it when, like, Avengers movies were the biggest thing, Iron Man was the biggest thing, Captain America. We're going to do it in 2025, beginning of Phase 6. Actually, insanity.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the big things I'm not quite sure how to feel is the new Ultimate news. Ultimate Spider-Man supposedly ending, it sounds like, at issue 24.
Yep.
And already going into Ultimate Endgame, where it's like, this universe is only 2 years old. It's like, why is there already an Endgame happening now?
So, like, if people who don't know, Marvel Comics had an Ultimate Universe that ran for, good 12, 13 years.
Long time.
They killed it off. They brought Miles Morales over to the main universe, and then 2023, Jonathan Hickman does Ultimate Invasion, which leads into the Ultimate Universe one-shot book, which then leads into all these other books coming out. And then Ultimate Spider-Man ends up becoming, like, one of the biggest selling floppy titles they've had in, good Lord knows, a long time. Yeah, people don't remember when that book was first announced and when that book first came out, it absolutely just completely dominated sales and everything, and everyone wanted to read it. And I read the first trade. I haven't read the other two trades yet. Oh, sorry, the other trades come on. The third one's coming out very soon. I read the first trade for Ultimate Spider-Man. Easily some of the best comic books I've read in my entire life. Absolutely so good. Like it ending at even Ultimate Wolverine. I actually really liked Ultimate Wolverine from the first two issues I read of it. I read the first two issues, thought they were amazing. That first issue, so damn good. I don't know why. I'll say Ultimate Black Panther fell off the sales charts, and so did Ultimate X-Men. I would imagine it's because the writing just wasn't as good. Because keep in mind, if the writing, because I think the writing quality, both of those two kept the books going. Like even the Ultimates is still selling. So I'd imagine with the other books, it had to have been a writing quality thing. But this is why people don't get invested in this stuff. Why is Ultimate Spider-Man a book that's selling better than the main Spider-Man title? Why is Ultimate Wolverine a book that's selling better than every X-Men title? Why is that ending at 24 issues? Like,
yeah,
it's just ridiculous because runs. I think runs and the minimum should be 24 issues. That's not the problem. That's the only thing that's good that's coming out of these is at least they're 24 issues. But we know we're just going to relaunch this with a new number 1. Is that not going to happen, or are they going to merge the universes together? Like,
yeah, I don't know, because I feel like once they realized these Ultimate Universe was huge, that they had this plan with the Maker and this endgame story. But then it's like, if they knew how huge it is and it has potential to keep on going, why does that make it look like that they're already ending it all? At least that's what it looks like to me. Well, we'll see, obviously, where things go. This just got announced.
Also, like most people are not even caring that the Maker has come back. They just care that Ultimate Spider-Man is ending. Also, I think for the final person, so I don't know. Ultimate Spider-Man 24 is being written by Hickman and art is by Marco Cicchetto, I think, right? Yeah.
Yes, correct.
But the Ultimate Endgame is not being written by Jonathan Hickman. It's being written by
Dennis Camp. Yeah.
Ultimate. So this is like the second time Jonathan Hickman started something and then someone else has come in and finished it. I don't know if this is editorial, even higher up people that want this done.
Yeah.
But it always just feels like when this guy comes into something, he just isn't the guy to finish it off. If anyone hasn't read Ultimate Spider-Man, Married with Children Volume 1, you truly are missing out on some of the most
it is so good,
sweetest
comic
books ever. So damn good. Why is this ending? It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense to end it. They could just you could have milked this for
a long time,
5-10 years, honestly. But
yeah,
this is what Marvel does. Just absolute ridiculousness. Makes no sense.
I agree with that. Welcome in, comic. Well, great to see you here. Speaking of Hickman starting stuff and leaving it, there's news actually about that as well, because he is writing he wrote the 4 issues of Imperial that's coming out. But we then got announced what all this stuff is that's coming out from Imperial, as that is like meant to be a new start to the cosmic Marvel universe. And we have Planet She-Hulk being the first of the 2 big titles that we actually got covers for.
Looks pretty good. Yeah, and then with Jonathan Hickman, they've moved him over they had him do Imperial. It feels like they're just moving him to different titles just to sell it. That's it.
It is interesting because you're seeing that happen repeatedly now, where he's kickstarting stuff and then going off somewhere else.
That happens the same thing with Mark Waid for DC. He just gets started on a book randomly. He's just not on the book. Then he's somewhere else. That's all they do with Jonathan Hickman. He's just a marketing tool to sell random books. I mean, Planet She-Hulk doesn't sound like a bad idea. I like the Planet Hulk book. Hulk was on Scar, that planet and everything. I like that book. I think that book's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is this going to sell the same with She-Hulk in the whole modern sense of how Marvel does things? I have no clue. I would probably say no. I mean, but who knows? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the story is written by Stephanie Phillips, who's, from what I've read, she's written good stuff. So we'll see what happens here. I know Steve's excited for it, and welcome in Ubaldo. Great to see you here. Then we also got, this is one I'm personally more interested in, as Nova Centurion. Probably butchered saying that, but curious to see more Nova stuff happen, and that's written by Jed McKay. And I need to read more of his stuff, but I haven't disliked necessarily what I've read of his stuff. And so, but yeah, we're getting more Marvel Cosmic stuff, which is always exciting for me. And we see all the stuff that we're getting here, such as both of those titles are launching in November. Then in December, we're getting Black Panther Intergalactic. We're getting Exiles in winter, so early next year, as well as Imperial Guardians. I don't know what Exiles means. Probably some sort of X-related book, I guess.
It's just exile all the black aliens. Just put them in one planet.
Put them all. There's some interesting stuff going on with the cosmic side. I'm a nut for the cosmic side of both DC and Marvel. I love the cosmic stuff. And so seeing that they're expanding on it finally, that we're finally getting a bunch of more cosmic stuff than just some Guardians titles. Like, I was trying to think of the last time we actually had an initiative of sorts where we've actually had all these new cosmic titles out and actually trying to maybe even be their own side of being connected and maybe an event or something there. And so I find it exciting that Marvel's actually trying to at least care for putting out cosmic stuff again. And so I hope these do well. I'm probably check out most, if not all of these.
I've never read anything Nova related, but I do hear very good things about runs the character's been a part of. I'll try the Planet She-Hulk book, and then I'll just probably try the Nova book. I've never, Black Panther books I've never really read at all, but who knows? I'll see if this all works, because I know that they've been launching several like cosmic stories on the side. Like they had Thanos do another Infinity Quest story at one point a few years ago.
Right.
All the other people are doing the completely different thing. Good Lord.
Yeah. I'm hoping this works. I mean, that is good for, of course, but like if it's good, I hope people also buy it and we get more cosmic stuff.
We're getting 10 issues at least minimum out of each of them. We're getting 10.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it all.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Crossed.
I haven't been reading it, but I just saw something I wanted to mention is One World Under Doom is ending with issue 9. And I actually really like this cover with Doom.
Very good cover, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great cover right there. But then we're also in December, we're starting to get these potential teases of who the next Sorcerer Supreme could be, because that's now the next big thing. That's the thing that has to be tossed around.
Thing supposed to be this new hot potato thing they're doing now. I thought this was supposed to
apparently.
Now it's just a hot potato thing. You can have it. You can have it. Just freaking let Wanda have it and have her just end everyone's life. How about that?
I would like to see her have it.
It would make no sense if Storm is the Sorcerer Supreme because she's part
right.
of the
yeah, it's like, what are they doing there? Shang-Chi's back there. You have Magic. Valeria back there.
Gambit as Sorcerer Supreme. Now
that'd be interesting. But
that would be causing some backlash there. Like what?
Yeah, well, we'll see. And One World Under Doom.
No one really talk about One World Under Doom. Honestly, I've heard I've not heard any good things about it all. I just go on Reddit sometimes to browse like the general opinions. I just hear it's not that good at all. I don't know. I haven't read it yet myself, but good.
Yeah, it's one of those things that for me, I love Dr. Doom. He's like my favorite Marvel villain. Part of the reason why we're doing a Dr. Doom focused episode on the Comic Den on Sunday, so go check it out. But when it comes to this, though, I was looking forward to it, but then the reason I stopped is that I know, okay, A, it's Doom. I don't want to try to read a lot of stuff attached to it. But then B, Marvel events are just too freaking big sometimes. Like if you want to check out everything, that's a lot of money you're spending on a monthly basis with all the miniseries and stuff and all the titles that then go into it and all that. And so it's like, I felt like there's just kind of way too much to kind of keep up with this if you're to do it.
For big events, I tell people just get the mainline big event.
Right.
And then if something happens when you're not sure where it came from, just maybe fill in the gap yourself. That's what I did for the Absolute Power. When I did, I was like, where did all this happen? Doesn't matter. We just keep reading. We don't even, we just keep going.
But because of that, I decided I'll wait until a lot of it hits digital on Marvel Unlimited and just read it that way.
Remember when last year they did a vampire event in June?
Yeah, I do.
Could have been in October, but whatever. Yeah, vampires in June, that works too.
That's like the main. That's like the main thing to read before this. Funny enough, because it shows how Dr. Doom became Sorcerer Supreme at the end of it. It's like all I know about it is because of that big ending. All right. Anyway, we got some covers for the Deadpool and Batman variant. The variant covers for the Deadpool and Batman book that's coming out. And I actually love this cover as Infinity Gauntlet. It's one of my
favorite. It's like a Batman the Animated Series stylish.
I do love that.
Looks very good. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look here, it shows all these like references as like, well, we know there's certain characters crossing over, so we know we're getting a Crypto and Jeff, and we're getting a Wonder Woman and Captain America. We're getting a Daredevil and Green Arrow together, and obviously you have the main two there. And maybe this means Joker's part of the story, or maybe he's just there. I don't know. But if you notice, though, we get Rocket and Green Lantern there, which goes into one of their other little announcements, where and you can see that just there, where Al Ewing is writing a Green Lantern and Rocket story as part of that.
Such a weird combination of characters.
I honestly love the combination, so I'm gonna be curious to see where it goes.
I wonder who Joker gets paired with, because you would think it'd be like Lex Luthor, but given their weird combinations of the characters, I don't think he gets paired with Lex Luthor.
It makes me think he might just be the villain of this story.
Oh, it could get compared with Kingpin. That could happen because Daredevil's here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm very. I hope this is good though.
This is the one written by Zeb Wells. The other one's being written by Grant Morrison.
Yeah, Zeb Wells with Kevin Smith, Kelly Thompson, Chip Zdarsky, Al Ewing, and Frank Miller. That's what a lineup right there.
This could be either like one of the best things ever written or absolute complete dumpster fire. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
See, just read the first 5 issues of Zeb Wells' Spider-Man run, then you'll know what peak comic book writing is.
Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, we'll see about that. And then we got some Captain America news. I'm usually not big into Captain America, but I'm actually curious about the new stuff here with Captain America. First off is Alien vs. Captain America, which is set during World War II, a 4-issue limited series. I'm a nut for alien stuff. I actually really enjoyed Hickman wrote the Aliens versus Avengers, which I thought was really cool, and it takes in like an interesting premise. Like, it's not your normal crossover where it kind of feels like the modern versions of the characters. That actually takes the story into the future, and there's all this interesting stuff, taking some ideas from Prometheus and Weyland-Yutani's there and all that. Anyway, all there's a bunch of great stuff with it, and so I'm curious to see what they're doing with their next crossover here. And I find it interesting that they're doing it aliens within World War II, and I love this cover here of just the face hugger on the shield and all that. So I'm curious
this is stuff they've been doing with Aliens and Predators for a while, because the Aliens ongoing comic book series that they've been trying to do for a while since they got the 20th Century Fox.
I keep on rebooting,
yeah, like it should barely hits like 10 issues. That last one, Alien Paradiso or whatever, just only had 5 issues. It was just, at this point, no more 10 issues. It's just a mini series. This one looks pretty cool. I'm hyped. This one I'm definitely interested in getting, because I know there's a lot of Predator ones, but Aliens I read. I haven't finished the last issue, but Aliens versus Avengers, I read the first 3 issues. I didn't. Issue 1 I'm pretty hit or miss on, but issues 2 and 3 were very, very good. But to be fair, that was Jonathan Hickman that wrote this. I don't know anything about this writer, so
Frank Thierry, yeah.
Who knows? Just this sounds like a pretty cool concept. I'm definitely gonna get this. What's gonna be a 4-issue series? Probably 5-issue series.
4.
Oh, of course. Yep, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious on how much about. And then the last thing with Captain America, which I also think is an interesting idea, is a Captain America 1776, or it's actually just called 1776, but it involves Captain America traveling back in time to 1776.
Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way I trust Marvel to do a book in 1776. No way. No way. That cover looks freaking phenomenal. It looks so damn good. But there is absolutely no way I trust Marvel to write a book from 1776's point of view. There's definitely going to be some bullshit in there. Like, should we abolish the First Amendment? I know there's some bullshit's going to happen in that book. I'm actually excited to get it. I want to see the way that they write this.
We'll see what happens. I think it's an interesting idea, but you do raise a good point on if they'll actually be able to write it well. And so that's a good point.
Watch him talk about gun laws in a world where fucking Hulk exists, as if that's going to actually do anything to him.
Hopefully it turns out to be okay. I think it's an interesting concept, but we'll see. We'll see what happens once things actually come out. But yeah, that's all we got for the Marvel stuff. Next up, we got some DC stuff to talk about. But actually, before we get into that, Ubaldo says he's looking forward to Captain America and Aliens. Absolutely. And Matthew's guessing that Steve Rogers will be immune to the alien acid blood. That'd be very interesting.
Probably not. I don't think so. His skin doesn't really work that way. I would assume not.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Because if they impale him, I think that would kill him. Like, can that pierce his skin? That's a pretty cool, interesting concept.
I would think so.
Yeah, because Captain America is about a similar strength as. People forget they're like very Deathstroke and him are this operations they had on are very similar. Like Captain America is about as strong as Deathstroke physically, just without the brain capacity thing. So And keep in mind, like Destro can be hurt and shot. So I mean, I wouldn't imagine an alien, a xenomorph, couldn't do it. Imagine a xenomorph. So I wonder, is there going to be like a Red Skull alien or something like that? Crazy.
That'd be interesting. Interesting indeed. But anyway, DC stuff. Let's delve into it, as there's still plenty more to talk about. We have, though, I know this is something that you said you wanted to specifically talk about, and this is the recent announcements over the DC Compact and World's Finest books. And so with DC Compact, we see, of course, we're getting Supergirl. Makes perfect sense with the movie coming out next year. Gotham by Gaslight, White Knight, Nightwing leaping into the light. I believe that's the first arc of Tom Taylor's run, right? Flash Rebirth, and then, of course, Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. All big stories, so it makes sense. And I haven't purchased any of these, but I mainly because I kind of feel like they're not for me. I like the bigger kinds.
I think bigger is better.
Yeah. You know, sure. In this context, sure.
Just in this, I tell people, hey, bigger is always better, as they say.
Wow. But anyway, these are cool though, because I think they've definitely found their fans, and they found. I have found that a bit of these compact books have found some of their ways into the marketplace in places where you wouldn't normally find comics to be sold at, which is cool. And so some of them, not widely, but like just some, and I'm seeing people actually getting these, I think, is a great way into comics. And so seeing all these stories, I think, are solid additions into it, which I think is really cool.
So these are, I mean, initially I thought it was a dumb idea. I don't know why I did. I mean, I know I had a video on my channel where I was like, this is probably not a good idea. I don't think this would work. And then I looked at the quality of the book. I have a lot of them too. Like, even if I've bought the books trade, I'll usually just buy this because I just like the format so much. And then when I saw how they came out, I was like, this is I told people, hey, I was wrong. This is a completely amazing, fantastic idea. The person that made that idea, you should be getting a lot of fucking money for that, because this has been a great idea for several different reasons. So
it's so smart.
So like, people have been comparing them to like trades. They're not really comparable to a trade, because a compact comic is a full run of said story arc. So let's just use the Batman one right there, Dark Knight Returns. So that is the full run of Dark Knight Returns. It's not so the trades would have like half of a run, because the trades are when a book is ongoing and coming out when it's serialized, right? These are the completed thing of the said arc. It's not like buying a trade where you're buying it in between a volume 1, 2, and 3. This is buying a single thing and having it all available. Problem that you could bring up is the smaller format. It's smaller. I think the biggest problem with the books is the binding. When you actually open the pages and you look at the book, it's so sewn closely in that if you actually open one of them, there are certain pages where you have to literally look very closely to see the words.
Oh, yeah.
You have to loosen the binding a little bit, because it's really, really tight in there. Just like my wife last night was when I banged her. But so these are definitely bang for your buck. Not only just because it's $10, it's like $10 plus tax, which is like $12.99, which is nothing. You get a completed story run. Then if you didn't like it, you could go, okay, I tried a comic book, it wasn't for me. But at least you get a full experience of something, rather than just getting half of an experience. And these are also good because there's people out there that just kind of like reading in that format, because manga is in that format.
That's true. That's a good point there.
Yeah. So no, this is a completely fantastic idea, and I'm glad DC's doing. I'm glad DC has.
They're leaning hard into it. And it's working out really well for them so far, I feel like.
The only issue with this run is this batch of ones that got announced is, well, people are gonna comment on the one where it has creepy van driver fat fuck on there. And keep in mind, I don't like that guy either. But as far as sales goes, with him and Jeff Johns stuff, that stuff sells very well. So expect a Green Lantern rebirth with Jeff Johns and EBS eventually. But my issue with this batch of books is that if people notice, there's 2 of them: Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Nightwing Leaping into the Light. Those are new books. I think this kind of stuff should be for older stuff first, because that stuff right there. So Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow just got a deluxe edition. Then Nightwing Leaping into the Light just got its first omnibus. So you don't need. That's an
interesting point.
Yeah, you don't need to print the newest stuff here. This stuff should be for like the first 2-3 years, should just be used for older stuff that's hard to collect. You don't need to make books for Woman of
True.
Tomorrow and Leaping into the Light right now. It's like they're not even hard to find, like at all. Those
Sure.
they literally just made newer formats for them right now at the time I was doing the show. About a week ago, Nightwing's new omnibus just came out like a week ago. So that's my only real issue. This stuff right now should
I can
just
see
be for
that.
older stuff for a little bit, and then if you want to use new stuff later on, that's fine. But the book choices here are fantastic. Like, no, I have all that stuff in trades and omnis anyway. I'll be getting all that stuff. Yeah,
I have all but one of them. So, but yeah.
Good Lord,
But
Gotham
it's,
by Gaslight. So I watched the animated movie. I know the book is different. I think the book probably might be better because the movie was okay. Like,
I haven't watched or read either of them, so I don't.
Okay. Dark Knight Returns. I love the story. The movies were good. I think part 1's stronger than the part 2 part, but I think both are good. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, obviously is going to work out very well because it's based off Supergirl movie coming out next year. And the other great thing with runs like these is you can print books for upcoming characters getting movies. That way, it's a great jumping on point. So, barring what I just said, there is a good element to it, but that's only predicated on the aspect that there's a character's movie coming up. So Supergirl is fine because Supergirl's a movie coming up.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, but Nightwing doesn't. Then Nightwing is going to have nothing for considerably until Brave and the Bold comes out, probably. So
yeah, you see, with Nightwing, while I would definitely get your point and agree with what they're doing with the Nightwing thing, I also do like that of all Nightwing stories, this is the one they're chosen, because for a long time, I've always found Nightwing to be a boring character. And then I actually got the regular size trade of that on sale, like some sort of special pre-owned sale at my comic shop or something. And I read it and I was like, holy crap, wow, like this is the first story where like I actually like really like the character of Nightwing. And I was like, well, Tom Taylor could actually make me a Nightwing fan, so... But yeah, we'll see. But the point is, though, I think that's a great story to have there for...
Also, I can't wait to have these in my collection. Can't wait to buy them. I love having these. Even if I had the book in a different format, I just have these. Also, they're good as gifts to people because if I want a friend to review the story with me, if I have that, I can just give them that. I'm not giving you my better, bigger Kindle book.
Sure.
You can have some small buttfuck book size like that. And I like those. I think... because like in the first initial run, they had shit in there like Far Sector, and they had another thing in there that no one cared about. It's okay. No one, even if you put that Far Sector book in a compact comic format, no one's gonna buy that. These honestly should just be bangers only. But I know in some of these runs they make, there's only gonna be like there might just be like the one that's a throwaway book that no one cares about. I don't think there should ever be a concept like that because there's enough material that they've made throughout their entire company's history where there never be a throwaway shitty book in there. There's just not a possible reason for that to happen, you know?
I would find it interesting, though, to try to elevate smaller tiles, because I've heard good things about the Far Sector book, and it's one I've wanted to read, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But, yeah, we'll see. So Yubaldo is saying, you know me, Spencer. Anything Batman, I'm in. Absolutely.
I do.
And we'll be talking about some Batman stuff here in a moment, or in just a tiny bit.
I buy anything Batman related. Even the new Batman Tom King omnibus coming up. Yep, I'm buying that. Don't ask questions. I've just got to do it. It's Batman related. I'm doing it. Watch Tom King's Batman run. Get a DC Compact Comics. Why?
Oh,
it's just not even hard to get.
I bought the
first 5 trades on Amazon for like less than $10.
I have the late last year they re-released Tom King's Batman in like a thicker paperback.
Oh, the book
like
format.
Something. I have it in every
the book format they do, where essentially it's like the Marvel's Epic Collection format, but it's just called book. It just says book.
Yeah, and it's like 30-ish, 20-something like that.
What's crazy is because they only release them once a year, and I don't think they should be doing that. These kind of things don't need to be released once a year, because if you're releasing that once a year, then I don't know if that shit's canceled, but you know, they also do another Epic Collection format too, which you probably have here as well.
Yeah. And those are actually something I do want to delve into as well. These right there. The DC Finest. These are something I actually want to start collecting. I haven't bought any of these yet. Have you?
I do. I love these. These are absolutely amazing.
I need to buy some.
Insane.
There's some I see that I really want to get. And there's actually one year that caught my eye with this batch, and that's the Justice League of America Starro the Conqueror.
Yeah, people don't know
reading that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's Justice League's first appearance.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the one that I really want. Justice League's first appearance fighting at Starro issued.
Yeah.
Was it Brave and the Bold issue 27 or is it Justice League issue 27? One of them was 27. I'm pretty sure it's Brave and the Bold. I probably could be wrong.
Remember.
But I know that's the one that I'm really looking forward to. My only real problem with this format, like I brought up in my own videos that I did, these should be starting from the very beginning, like Marvel's Epic Collections, because Marvel's Epic Collections are from the very beginning, and then they keep going up until wherever they're going to keep going with it. If these had started from the very beginning, these would be amazing because you could literally start from the very beginning, and you could actually build the characters up all the way to wherever they currently go and how many years their characters expand in the comic book mythos. But I understand the concept of just having a jumping on point, but it's one of those like hit or miss things.
Well, you know? I like that from what it looks like to me, even though I haven't read any of them, but just from what it looks like is that they're really focused on the main big iconic issues for you to actually be able to go read. Like, for instance, Justice League here, that's their first appearance, as you said. Fighting against Starro, like that's such an iconic issue. Or it actually looks like this Batman one. That's the one that actually was the first appearance.
Yeah,
and so like great to have.
I don't know why he put that there because that's already been announced. That was announced a long time ago, honestly. That one I'm also going to be getting too. So out of these, I'll be getting the Justice League one, Batman one, and I'll be getting the Green Arrow one because I bought the other Green Arrow Longbow Hunters one a while ago. I don't know. Does Wonder Woman sell enough? I mean, I get why she gets books, but I don't feel like anyone cares about Wonder Woman in collected edition.
I don't know. You see, I think Wonder Woman has this huge problem where, you know, she's obviously part of the Trinity, right? Yeah, Batman, and you have all these great Batman stories you can recommend. There's Superman, all these great Superman stories you recommend. And then you go to Wonder Woman, and it's like, wait, where do I start with Wonder Woman? And I feel like that's kind of a big problem of, like, it's harder to recommend a Wonder Woman story than it is the other two, I feel like.
So, and some of them just, every time I read a synopsis of the book before I even attempt to buy it, it always just feels like it's the same shit. It's not even like, I know Batman and Superman can kind of be repetitive in some aspects, but hers is like extremely repetitive as far as like just you just read the synopsis. I'm like, well, all right, saying I've heard this, I've read this like 1,000 times before.
I don't know,
but no, I love these books. It's crazy. It's just extra money I have to spend on every book every month.
I need to break down and buy some of these because I do really like them. I love that in their first wave, they did the action comics of like the first
that's
20, 30 something.
You start
like that looks great.
Yeah, like Superman right there could have been you start from Action Comics #1 and then you just keep going until forever, essentially, honestly, all the way up in because people could just jump to that. People are like, well, how do you start reading Superman? I could just tell you read DC's Finest Superman
all the way
first
up,
book, and then if you like that, get the second book, then the third book. But these don't function that way. But if you guys ever want to read Action Comics #1, you can get DC's Finest Superman, the first superhero. That's Action Comics #1 there. You won't be spending $1 million on a floppy. You just be buying it in that format.
And it's like somewhere around like the first 20 or 30 issues you get with that as well, which is great. So absolutely. And they announced one other as well, which I thought looked really cool. That is a Joker the Last Haha. Classic Dennis O'Neil.
I don't know that story. I mean, it's by Dennis O'Neil, so I imagine it's going to be a fucking banger because that guy did some banger stuff back in the day. That looks kind of cool. I mean, I'll probably get it just because, but I don't know what that's supposed to be based around. I know they did one for The Killing Joke a while ago, and I'm pretty sure
that included a bunch of extra stuff as well.
Yeah, fair. I have The Killing Joke already. I love that story a lot too.
It's such a big story. It's like I feel like it's one of those essential stories that everybody has to have if you're a comic collector or fan, you know.
Oh yeah. And the reason why these are good to have, it's what I like that DC's doing is efficiently having people effectively use their money and giving them a lot for it. So you $10, you get a DC compact comic that's around, depending on story arc, an average of 180 to 200 pages for $10. You get a complete run. DC's Finest, very similar to the Marvel Epic Collections. They're not in order as far as like a volume number, but it's $40 for that entire story arc, and it's in a trade paperback epic collection format where you're getting a whole completed story arc, and that's just so good for money being used, because people don't want to, when they get into a hobby, they don't want to just spend so much money. But this is the way to spend $10-$40. If you can't afford $40, you're probably just broke and need to get a job, probably. But
yeah, and you get a lot of bang for your buck even with spending the $40. So I'm looking here, the pre-order for this one, $40, and I've seen 2 different page listings of either $540 or $560. But either way, that's over 500 pages of material you're getting for $40, which is really good. So that's excellent. Oh no, 560. I just read the other one, so don't mind me. But yeah, 560 pages. That's a lot. That's really good. I'm trying to find issue. Trying to figure out exactly how many or what issues this one includes.
Was it Dennis O'Neil, or was it Neil Adams? One of them created Ra's al Ghul. Fucking hell. Absolutely. That's who they should do. They need to reprint the run with Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. Because that omnibus is worth a lot of money. So making that a DC's finest would be very good, actually. They did a lot of stuff for this. They did one for Aquaman. Supergirl has one. Harley Quinn has one with her first appearances from the Batman Animated Adventures comic books. I have that one up there.
That's cool. I need to read that one. Yeah, I was trying to see if I can find any solid answers as to what this might include, but I don't see anything yet, which is one of the things that annoys me about this. When they announce these DC's finest collections, is not actually saying what exactly is in them. Oh, those look amazing.
This is the Harley Quinn one.
That looks great.
Yeah. That. Good Lord, look at the back of this too. This is her first appearance.
That is
paper
awesome.
Quality is so good. Paper quality is awesome. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Great book. Also, Teen Titans, they had Judas Contract, was their first one released, and I was like, yep, I'm automatically buying that. You only got to tell me twice.
Damn it. You're going to make me start spending a bunch of money I don't need to spend now. It's awesome, though. Fantastic. Anyway, let's delve into a bunch of the different other news that's happened, as DC's dropped a bunch of other nuggets and stuff that has come around. And so, but yeah, let's get into what else there is. And I always get annoyed with DC, is I feel like they have the worst news reporting of everybody. It's like they barely ever publish articles. And so it's like you have to go to other places to find the DC news. And so that's what I've done. Shout out to all the people that do great work on actually finding what the hell they actually talked about, because you can't find it officially from DC. So they began with their all-in panel, and they have some things where they showed some more stuff coming up with Absolute Batman, or that we also see here that Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman are meeting each other in issue 15 of Wonder Woman. So that's really cool. We're getting our first kind of crossover. And then that's on top of the Absolute Evil that we're getting, which spinning out from that is Absolute Green Arrow, who makes his first appearance there. So that's cool.
What's crazy is he looks no different from the Oliver of the.
This is true. I was about to say, I'm just
straight up copying. That is literally not even different. At least Bruce and Diana and Clark look a little bit different.
They all are different, yeah.
This guy looks, man. The meme of the 2 Spider-Mans pointing at each other is gonna.
Oh yeah.
Like for that guy looks no different from the other Oliver.
He doesn't. They've haven't really said anything officially about it. They then talk about DC KO. Actually, I have some that later on. But then here, we got our first lineup of characters that
I think the idea is pretty cool. I like this.
I like it. Well, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of DC's attempt at Dragon Ball. Of the whole Tournament of Power stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think there should be teams, and I think they should allow them to use their powers. Them being powerless is kind of stupid.
Well, you see,
or if they can't use their powers, I don't know. From what I heard, they're not allowed to use their powers, which is
I'm going to reserve judgment to see how it actually turns out, because I think it's one of those ideas that you might not realize if it will really work until you actually see how they do it. And so that's what I'm curious by. But anyway, we see our first lineup here of some characters that, and some of you might not expect to be part of this 32 initially. So we have Captain Atom, Guy Gardner, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Lobo, Swamp Thing, Cyborg, Red Hood, and Zatanna.
Fun. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix.
They should have did it like the Yu Yu Hakusho arc, the Dark Tournament with Torogaro and everything. That would have been utterly fantastic. I think for some of his ideas, it's not like they're bad from DC. They're actually very good. They're like 8 out of 10 ideas. Just a little bit more refining. It's like reading these. You expect if I'm reading one of these, and Superman has his powers, and he's going up against like Lobo in like the final match, and he can't immortally because Lobo's immortal. You can't like kill him.
Right.
It'd be cool to see how he's actually going to win the fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also one of those, like, if you had a team-up combination between, like, Superman, Red Hood, Cyborg, how would that play out? How about their teammate? Again, who would they match up with? I would like if these ideas are a little bit more fleshed out, but the idea we get here is fine. This is, like, this sounds really weird as a concept that they're doing this in, like, some weird, like, Tournament of Power story.
Yeah,
but I like it. I think these are things that need to be done more often because these kind of like help with fan battles, but just next time if they're not, because I don't know if they're going to be able to use their powers. Please use their powers. It's way more interesting when they can just have their powers. But they're probably thinking whoever goes up against Superman probably just loses to him automatically.
That's probably the thing, and I feel like at the end of it, he's probably going to win anyway. But we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe Black Lightning wins because they all voted for Obama, so they can vote for a black man winning.
We'll see. And then they were given the special ash cans, which is cool there. Let's see here. But yeah, here's some pictures of it. So that was a better version of what I had there. Getting some hints of what is this? Some sort of brass knuckles mini suns thing. So I don't know.
Is this kind of like Philip Kennedy Johnson's War World story, essentially?
I don't know exactly how they're doing this. Maybe. I'm just very curious because we know the idea behind why, but we don't know the hows of why it's all come together or how it's all come together. And that's what I'm really curious about is like, how do you get all these characters to just be like, okay, yeah, we're doing this tournament now. And so that's what I'm really curious about this.
Yeah, I also heard that Batman's not in this because he's doing something else.
Yeah.
Like the best fighter in the DC universe without powers is not going to be in the tournament.
He's going off and doing his own thing, which is interesting. And do I have...
He's going to be in Matt Fraction's run. He can't be bothered.
Here we go.
Users.
There's a picture of him there. And it's crazy, too. He has like this... reminds me of like a Klingon Warblade, but it's a bat-shaped sort of thing that he has as a weapon. And he's doing this thing called Night Fight. One of Batman's biggest fears is what happened to his children. It's Batman up against the Robins, but the versions of those Robins if they became Batman. So it's Batman / Jason Todd, Batman / Damian, and Batman / Dick. So
is this going to be a different? Is this going to be a mini series, or is this going to be part of Matt Fraction's run?
This is a separate Batman mini series that I think ties into the DCKO.
Oh,
geez. This is called Night Fight.
Night.
So anyway.
No way to tell that difference between this and Nightfall, right? Just no difference. Can just.
I'm very curious about how this will turn out, though.
That cover does look really good. That looks
awesome. Yeah. I'm very curious. Yeah, we'll see. And then we also got. I really like this art too, and this is how I guess how it all begins, of Darkseid coming back, and he's like this. He looks nuts here. And
same thing with like Marvel too. Like DC threw away Darkseid in that story. But they've been like both Marvel and DC, like Darkseid's coming back, the makers returning.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
I don't know. I mean, these people apparently don't work together, but the ideas are always very similar. Like all of them were building towards Darkseid coming back because you knew as the reader he wasn't dead if you read the All In special.
Right,
the characters thought he was dead. That's the thing.
100%.
Yeah.
It is interesting because to me, the Absolute Universe always felt like a response of, hey, Marvel's doing Ultimate, let's do this Absolute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I've actually enjoyed more of what the Absolute Universe has done more overall than the Ultimate stuff. And plus the idea of it, the whole Darkseid idea with the Absolute stuff and how it might tie all in is really interesting to me. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. In other news, speaking of Absolute stuff, it got revealed that Deathstroke will be introduced as Alfred's friend. So interesting little detail there about how Deathstroke will be included. We also got confirmed that coming to Absolute Batman is Dick Grayson, who actually had a cameo in Absolute Batman 9. Then there was Harley Quinn, Red Hood Gang. Important to say that's not Red Hood, but the Red Hood Gang and Scarecrow all coming to Absolute Batman sooner than later. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, he said that in this, they're coming eventually. Probably going to be introduced in 2-part arcs, like they did with the Mr. Freeze. Actually, after the first 6 issues,
I hope they do them kind of better because I found that to just be okay.
Because I read the first 7 issues of Absolute Batman. I don't know how the second issue with the Mr. Freeze arc plays out. I know I really enjoyed the aesthetic aspect of that first issue. I'll have to read issue 8. I know I've liked Absolute Batman. I think it's been pretty good.
It's really good.
I understand why it's selling very well, but you always know in the back of your head when these kind of stories play out that have a different mythos and play on like Batman shit, that they're eventually going to become evil and turn on him. I imagine all of his friends are going to eventually be that way too. But how are they going to? Because they've talked about Quinn. I think they did in issue 7. Like, you know, these guys are all coming eventually. I don't know which issue, but
it's curious. I've been really liking Absolute Batman. I am loving the current Bane arc right now. Can't wait for you to get to that and hear your thoughts on that. It's a lot of good stuff there. I feel like.
Why is
so I'm excited.
So small? His head is so small for no reason.
It's
just a small head.
Small head. It's like the Goomba and the bad Mario movie we never talk about. Anyway. Other stuff of the main Batman run, we get to see the look at the Batmobile here, and also Alfred's back as a hologram or an AI hologram of sorts.
That's damn freaking cool.
Yeah, I like that with this new Batman that they're doing it as a whole new aesthetic with it.
Oh, I like how they just brought back Alfred too.
It's literally just
in Tom King's Batman run, Bane kills Alfred because Batman tells Damian, "Do not go here." Damian being obviously a fucking retard. Doesn't listen to his dad because that's what kids do. They don't listen to their parents. Goes and gets Alfred killed. So Alfred has not been in the mainline Batman book since the end of Tom King's Batman run. So it's been a good
years.
5-6 years since Alfred's not been a part of the main Batman continuity. So having Alfred back is cool in my opinion. Like what really bothered me about his run, because I read most of it in that Batman Ultimate guide right there, because that's pretty much when Tom King took over, a little bit after you have like James Tynion run, shit like that in there.
Sure.
It wasn't even that Alfred. I mean, the Alfred death is like peak Star Wars Last Jedi bullshit they're doing there. But there was another thing in that book where somehow Bruce's dad from the Flashpoint universe was convinced by villains to take down his son, and it's like, what? I was like, okay, Tom, no more crack. You've done enough of that. Just give me a new writer. What the hell? Now, I'm not kidding, people. For that Flashpoint movie you watched, the animated one, that same Batman appears in this guy's run, and then he's convinced by villains to stop his son from taking down Bane. Absolute mental insanity. Absolute just.
Okay.
Holy shit! Get a freaking rope and go. Go ahead first.
I haven't.
Honestly,
I haven't read that one.
You look up an AI. That'll be good enough. Just type up AI synopsis. Don't need to bother reading that shit.
But yeah, it is interesting to see how they're bringing back Alfred, though. So we'll see. Yeah. And I am, like I said, I do like the aesthetic of this whole.
Jorge Menace's art, so good, so good. Another guy that doesn't get enough credit because Dan Moore is just that much better. But Jorge Menace, solid. Honestly, I hope David Finch does another Batman book. His art is fantastic. Yeah. It's so crappy that his art got paired with Tom King. That's just maybe that's karma. You feel like you made it, but you're like, the writer of your book is Tom King. All right, I guess.
Boy.
Just fucking hell.
We also got more details on Immortal Legends Batman. Where I'm curious about what they're doing with this book.
Another spin-off Batman book. What in the world?
Well, it's set in its own continuity. It's like an Elseworlds Batman story.
So this Black Label. Why don't they just call these things DC Black Label? That's what.
Well, it's not it's more of an Elseworlds than a Black Label.
Oh, good lord!
And so this book doesn't take place in Gotham. Batman's on a quest to fix the biggest mistake he ever made. Gotham's going to end up being a planet. Interesting. We also see a new take on the Joker. Will be uniquely immersive and interactive in the ways that Higgins thinks no one has ever done in comics before. Okay, we'll see about that. But also, Batman, Robin, and Nightwing all get their powers from the same source, which has a light and dark aspect to it. Nightwing draws from both, Robin from light, and Batman from dark. That's intriguing. So we'll see what happens here. It's like Batman meets Power Rangers, and the fact I made that parallel, I hate because I'm not a Power Rangers fan. So, anyway.
How dare you? How dare
I
you?
know, how dare
Power
I.
Rangers. Batman,
Fair enough.
Immortal. I'll have to read about it. I'll probably do a video about that because I totally forgot this was coming out. It's weird
Very
because it
curious.
doesn't look that bad. It just looks like
It doesn't.
something that you'd probably want to better consume when it's in a collected edition format.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't see me buying this one right when it comes out, but I would definitely want to read it at some point. So, yeah, I might do the same. Although, maybe, you know, curiosity kills the cat, and maybe if I see the first issue there, I'll be like, yeah, why not, you know? Impulse buying is a thing that's totally healthy.
Kind of what this is all about. All of this is about impulse buying.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, here's all the stuff that we may or may not be buying later on.
Oh,
So-
what do you mean? What's this? This is I will be buying stuff. PayPal paying for the win.
Power Rangers, what's that?
Power Rangers actually is for losers and nerds, just like reading comic book.
We also got another new Batman announcement called The Batman Second Night by Dan Jurgens, where I haven't read the first one. I bought the first one, haven't read it, but here we're doing a second one. It introduces Lois Lane as part of it. And yeah, be interesting to see how this one turns out. I love I know it's not colored yet, but like just the art of what we're seeing here is really good.
I remember when this was dropping. This dropped in 2023. I bought the standalone issues. The standalone issues, if you buy them, some of the best quality books DC's ever made as far as like an actual presentation. I know they put this out in a hardcover format.
Yeah, I have that.
I didn't hear any bad things about it. I don't know if people read this big, but I don't know. I remember this came out. I know I bought book 1 and 2. I don't know if I bought book 3 because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be getting the chance to read this anytime soon, but
sure.
It's getting a sequel, maybe because it sold very well. Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, Dan Jurgens. I think it's because Dan Jurgens is the one who's made it sell. If you don't know, Dan Jurgens is the guy that wrote The Death of Superman. So
right, huge comic name. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, indeed.
Yeah. Dan Jurgens on a book just sells. That's just how it works. Well, if you're like, well, he's on it, I'm buying it. That's just
especially somebody that's known for doing Superman, and now to see a take on Batman, it's interesting. And I haven't read this one yet. Ubaldo says they're great issues, classic old-fashioned Batman. Man, I'm gonna have to talk about it sometime. But something that me and Steve talked about, and it's one of the things I'm really curious about checking about this, is when we were covering Superman for All Seasons, he made this really interesting point that there's a lot of writers that really understand Batman, and then there's a lot of writers that really understand Superman, but there's not a lot of writers that really understand both of them. And so I'm curious if Dan Jurgens is somebody that also, obviously understands Superman very well for having one of the biggest ever Superman runs, if not the biggest. But if he also understands Batman, I think is very interesting to see.
Oh, that's why I didn't fully read them. The synopsis of that book, I remember, was like, fascism is on the rise. And I was like, oh no. When I saw that shit, I was like, red flag, I'm out. And then I didn't hear that many bad things about it. I was like, okay, I'll end up buying this collected edition. But holy crap, you start a book off like that, I'm about to be like, all right.
See, I try to not. I don't care for if you try to. All I care about is if it's a good story. I don't want it to force down an agenda down my throat. That's why I hated the Batman '89 book, the first one that they did, the first 6 issues with Two-Face and all that.
Yeah, the movie.
Hated that. I hated that first one. I was like, that is honestly one of my least favorite books in my collection because I didn't like it. I didn't like what they tried to do with it. And that was so disappointing too because I was so excited to get into that. And then I started reading it and I'm like, this is not it. I did not like what they were doing at all with it.
What's crazy is you would think those movie sequel books to those popular Batman and Superman movies, like 78 Superman and 89 Batman,
yeah,
very well. I don't hear anybody talk about them at all, honestly, which is sad because
I've heard talks about the Batman one, but not much Superman, and that was the one that interested me most.
Out, yeah.
But not by I've ever read it, so what can I say? All right. Speaking of Superman, last stuff I got from DC is actually all Superman related. Here we have Philip Kennedy Johnson, aka PKJ, talking about Adventures of Superman: The Book of L, where this is like the final chapter of all his Superman work. I've only read his World stuff, which is really cool, but he revealed stuff such as Superman twins are back. This is like the finale to all this stuff. He's also writing a physical Book of L, where every issue will end with 2 pages from it, which I think is a very interesting idea. And then also comparing it to Samurai Jack, which is interesting. But interesting, I like the art here. I mean, obviously it's a little bit not the best quality of somebody zoomed in taking a photo of it.
I saw like 1 page of it when I read the Summer Superman Special #1, whatever it was called. Oh no, this might be something I'm probably just gonna skip. It just doesn't seem that interesting to me. I read the synopsis and I was like, that kind of bored.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know too much about it because I haven't read much of his stuff, but we'll see. Something I am more interested in though is in the mainline Superman.
Oh yeah.
We're getting Zod back here, and I assume this is a typo meant to say Action Comics 1,100.
A little bit above 100 issues, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But I do know that issue is around the corner, as I think the main issues are. I think that's next year. Is like later next year. I think when that.
Yeah, because Zod, he lost his powers after Absolute.
Yeah, because that's how Lois. Spoiler alert! Got her powers.
Lois eventually lost them too,
and we don't know. I don't think we know where they went from.
Good
right?
Lord.
I think it just went away, and we didn't. I don't think we've gotten a clearance. Or
I need to start going through Joshua Williamson's run. I have all the trades. I know I bought them all. I heard just so many good things about it. I
really like it. I really liked his stuff. So, but yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And then in Action Comics, we're getting his Friends from the Future.
Action Comics 110. Just can't wait to look forward to that one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a time machine to get it new.
Lord.
Anyway, but yeah, well, we'll see. I'm very curious to see how they're bringing back Zod. Like that'll make me. I only read Superman. I don't read Action Comics. But if they're making this Zod storyline be more part of Action Comics, I might have to pick Action Comics up instead.
Action Comics, another thing that they need to streamline a bit more. If I told you people how to, just even in 2016, on with that and how to collect that, your brain explode. Your brain would. Yeah. They were doing weekly Action Comics with Mark Waid, some sort of like style release strategy.
Oh my god! So
many, and then they took Mark Waid off doing that because he was, to be fair, he was doing quite a bit of books at the time, only to bring someone else on. Then that person's done. They have this Superman Superstars thing. Then after that's done, Mark Waid's coming back to do a Superboy prequel Superman story. Like the fact that I'm not saying this is true or not true, but there's no way you're going to convince me that Superman hasn't had that happen in 1,000+ Action Comics issues. There's no way he hasn't had a prequel of his life before Superman. But that's what Mark Waid's doing. Mark Waid's doing World's Finest, JLA, and a prequel book for some reason.
I don't know. It's. I mean, here's the thing. Mark Waid, I think, is one of the great writers that we have right now, and so it's interesting to see. With this time period, you think we wouldn't need anything from what could he actually add to it, and so I will say this: it's probably something I wouldn't check out if literally anybody else was writing it. But since it's Mark Waid writing it, I'm like, okay, maybe you might be onto something because it's Mark Waid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's just another way to just sell Action Comics. Fine, Action Comics. People look at those Ice V2 charts. It hasn't been a top seller in, I don't know how long. It's been a long time, actually. Yeah. It's so sad that the longest running comic series in the world, at least for Western comics, is not even a top seller. Is so sad. That breaks my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to do something exciting with it. The big thing for me that turns me off is when they do this stuff, or when they tried to do it weekly. It's like, that's just too much. I can't buy the same title every week, It's like, or even bi-weekly. That's why I stopped reading the X-Men stuff that they're coming out with now. It's like, that's too much X-Men stuff.
Like, it's one of those things where people said, well, they should release books weekly. That's why that was one of the things I said probably not to do, because I don't think comics like Western ones can function off of that. Because as we know, like writing quality has already been pretty hit or miss with a lot of people, making them have a time limit where you're putting out a book every week. Now, I think a book every 2 weeks is fine. I think if Action Comics was every 2 weeks, that's fine. But every week, I was like, wow. I was like, all right, we're just we're really going crazy here.
We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. We also got the last bit of DC stuff is that it got confirmed that Darkseid's Legion are actually crossing over from the Absolute Universe. And so the Superman book is going to directly set up DCKO and quote unquote break Superman before. So we'll see. So I'm looking forward to seeing where all this like mainline Superman stuff goes. Is that's the next 3 issues? Is this
of course
arc?
I kind of figured he was going to be using them. If people read the Summer of Superman special #1, it's very obvious he was.
They were also been set up at least 2 or 3 times, being hinted at in the main book as well. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to see where all this is going. As I mean, I've really been liking the Superman run. I'm really curious about where DCKO is going. So we'll see. Very curious, for sure. All right. Well, that wraps up the DC stuff. I have just a little bit left of stuff that's not DC or Marvel. So let's delve into them. Let me pull it all up here first. But I mainly didn't find too much in this regard, at least stuff that I felt like was worth talking about. So, but yeah, we'll just delve into it. For any fans of 90s cartoons, we're getting an interesting new crossover. This is actually something I've found today via just Reddit, and I never even realized, but we are getting a Disney Gargoyles Darkwing Duck. Oh wait, hold on. It's a Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck comic crossover is happening, and I'm like, that's a very interesting 4-issue limited series that we're getting of those two. Where I personally love both of those 90s cartoons. I love going back and watching both of those. Gargoyles, I think, is a fantastic cartoon that we didn't get enough of, but seeing those two together, I think, is very interesting. So we'll see. We also have, I said I don't like Power Rangers, but it's news here that was more notable. But here's something that I find very interesting is we're getting a 3rd crossover between the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This was announced. I don't know why some of this news is trickling in now. That's been announced a while ago. Yeah, that's been announced. Yeah, a while ago.
It was the first I've seen of it, but
it's weird how behind even Comic-Con people. It's weird that people in the industry are like, "Hey, this is new." It's like you announced this already.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Return. Yeah, it's weird. And they just talk about more Power Ranger stuff, VR Troopers, and yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because when does that come out? Oh yeah, that makes sense because that 3rd one in 2 weeks. Yeah, so that makes sense. It had been announced. I've just never seen anything about it, but at the same time, I don't like Power Rangers, so we'll just continue on. Yeah, I know, terrible. What was for me one of the biggest things of stuff announced was what was announced in the world of Turtles, and so there's a bunch of stuff here. This one, not so much of an annual because I don't keep up with the regular stuff. But we got 2 big announcements. We got Battle Nexus, a 5-issue limited series of the Turtles battling these different people from across the universe, or different turtle universe, across the Turtles multiverse. And we can see right there, that is the original version of Shredder. The classic black and white version of a Shredder from the original Eastman and Laird comics, which is very interesting. And this is stuff that I actually talked about on my channel not too long ago on Shell Talk with Chris. We talked about all the different Shredder stuff, and he's really, what's interesting is Shredder's really not in those original comics that much. But he's back along with all these other characters. So, but I found that to be very interesting that they're doing that, bringing them back, and we have these other Turtles characters. So
yeah, so you have TMNT, Godzilla, you have
I can't wait for
Shredder,
this.
Then you have Casey Jones. I don't know if the Casey Jones book is going to be 10 issues or 5 issues. I don't know if the Shredder.
Yeah, I don't think they've said.
Yeah, they haven't announced it yet, but I know they've been whoring TMNT out to like everybody that'll take them. Like TMNT had a crossover with Naruto, TMNT had a crossover with Masters of the Universe. They had a crossover with Power Rangers. So they're just putting whatever money they'll accept for a crossover, IDW will do it because IDW may or may not be here in the next few years. So they're like, guess we got to cash out. That's their highest.
Yeah, we'll see. I am curious to see how the World Turtles and Godzilla are going to come together, and so it's something I'm very curious on and want to check out. Obviously, Godzilla wins in all these books, but I'm here for any Godzilla crossover. I've enjoyed the ones that Marvel has put out. Have just been fun. Some of them have been just okay.
I know they canceled Jason Aaron's run, but I think his run was always announced to only be like 12 issues anyway. I wouldn't really call that a cancellation.
No, they're not.
I'm wrong. I don't remember too much.
So what it is they announced it just before Comic-Con that it's a new creative team taking over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't call it a cancel, but they're changing the team, just like what's going on with Transformers. Dana Warren Johnson, right? That's who does that, right? It's him who did 24 issues. And he's been apparent from the beginning. I don't know if Jason Aaron was the same way, but from the very beginning, he's been like, I have 24 issues that I'm doing. And that's been true.
Yeah, I remember it was supposed to be at least 2 arcs worth of issues.
Yeah, he said 24 issues were all he was going to do, and then he was going to leave. And so I could see that being the same case with Jason Aaron. I haven't stayed up as much on the Turtle stuff.
Maybe they just can't afford past 12 issues, so 12 issues was always going to be the cutoff number.
We'll see. I've seen, though, I don't know actually how they've been selling or anything, but I've seen more talk about Turtles comics with that run than I have before. So I feel like at least it's brought in some new people. I haven't read any yet because I've been wanting to read, even though it's kind of like a Marvel thing, where they start off with the number 1, but it's, very much from the fallout or like the new beginning after the whole Armageddon thing. That was like the big finale to the previous IDW run. And so I haven't read any of that stuff yet, and I want to. And, shout out to all the, what are they called that IDW does? Those complete collections that they do of what that's in hardcover and stuff that are nice. And so I want to read through a bunch of those. And so, but yeah. Yeah, a bunch of Turtles stuff that we got. So I thought it was cool to see Turtles get a big spotlight with a couple big announcements, and I hope they do well. So we'll see what happens. And then last thing I have, also IDW related, is they talk about these horrifying comics that they're doing, which is Beneath the Trees. I've never read any of these Beneath the Trees stuff. Have you? Showing all the stuff about the rites of spring. I'm not familiar with any of this.
No, I'm not familiar with any of this.
Me
the only
neither.
other thing I know IDW wanted to do their own in-house stuff before. They wanted to do like horror, sci-fi, all the genres, but most of their stuff that people know them for is because they license out everything. So I think it might be one of those too little, too late. Like, good Lord, in 2025, you want to make your own shit. It's like, good luck with that.
Here we're getting,
Remember that they announced that they wanted to do one based off like the Bible. It's like, oh my goodness. All right, you stop smoking crack. Just stop. Yeah, that's what I want to read my comic books for. Bible shit.
Yeah, no. We have Return to Sleepy Hollow. So, like, they're doing all these different horror-related stuff. Twilight Zone. It's interesting. I've never gone into Twilight Zone, but I know people love it. It's interesting. First issue is in September, and then the second one's in November. The Event Horizon sequel, which this I know was announced, but we got all the different covers revealed and shown here for them. So that's interesting. Let's see here. Exorcism. Don't touch that stuff. I don't like horror stuff like that, so definitely not my thing. And then original oversized one-shots, such as Blood Honey and I don't know how you say that other one, Tuatha? I don't know.
Exorcist comic book. What in the world? Are we just doing anything at this point? What?
Yeah.
People don't know what there's plenty of these that already exist. There's no way that's standing out on its own. No way.
30 Days of Night, Falling Sun, which I don't know what that means.
It's like a vampire story.
Alaskan vampires. Oh, that sounds actually really cool. Okay, if I checked out any of them, it'd be this one. I like vampire stuff. So
takes place after the original 30 Days of Night. That one sounds pretty interesting. That might be one of the only ones I grab.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out 30 Days of Night. That's cool. So very cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it as far as I was able to find out notable news. I felt like this year was I mean, Marvel had a few interesting things, but other than that, or like big things, I was like, whoa, okay. But other than that, I felt like overall this year was kind of smaller from San Diego specifically of news. And so, but thank you so much for coming by and hanging out and talking about all this comic news and stuff. Where can the people find you at?
Yeah, so let me just bring it up right here. Probably just show them, not say. Bring up this, blah. Okay, so if anyone who knows me, I'm old, rich, hot, good looking, charismatic, easy on the eyes. Ladies,
only some of those things might be true, but go on.
Right. Oh, crap. All right. Good Lord. Jesus Christ, I forgot how it works in here. Share screen. Okay, it works like that. That's super simple.
Yes. Hold on, let me...
Okay, so if anyone doesn't know, this is my comic book channel. I upload videos pretty regularly.
Let me pull that up. Yes.
Because I do the comic book related content on my main YouTube channel for my podcast, the MSK Show, and then I take the segments of the comic book reviews and news, and then I upload them here. So basically, long story short, let's go. Long story short, let's start here.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull that up.
Main YouTube channel right here. So I do my show, the MSK Show here. Then we do comic book related content on my podcast, the MSK Show. Then I take the content out of the MSK Show and I put the intro and outro on it, and then I upload that content to the comic book channel, which is where you guys would want to see it here, because there's no point in putting comic book content on my main channel. I tried doing it a little bit of time, but I just ended up deleting it, and then I just uploaded it over here, and it did way better. So that's what I do. I do comic book market watch. I know I'm really behind on it, but I will catch up on that eventually. I do want to do a few more different style of comic book videos, but that'll come in the future when I have way more free time. But right now I do not. So generally speaking, I like to record a lot of comic book related content like a lot, so I can upload a lot of it, without having with basically just working on newer videos. So I know it says right here, haven't uploaded a video in 4 days. Don't worry about that. I'll be uploading more videos soon. I just have to edit them. That's all it really boils down to. I just, editing it just takes a bit of time, but I usually am working on editing quite a bit of videos we've already done so I can upload them for you. So that's what I'm working on.
Excellent. Well, thank you all, everybody, so much for coming by. Go sub to MSK and all those different channels there. And be sure to tune back into the Dingus Den for all the different stuff coming up, such as next up will be Thursday at, I think it's set at 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be talking about Fantastic Four full-on spoiler review. And then Sunday we'll be back. Me and Steve will be back for the Comic Den to talk about Doctor Doom stories. Now, I know I said previously that we're going to do a Shell Talk on Saturday, but that might have to get rescheduled because other stuff that, life stuff that has come up on that day. So I'll probably have to change that to another day. But point is, though, we'll got lots of stuff coming in. Be sure to check it out. Thank you all so much for coming by. And until next time, see you all later, next time on the Dingus Den. Laters, everybody.